McCulloch versus Maryland. Okay, this case was decided in 1819, and if you're of the political persuasion that the government's too big and it's got too much power, and you're a small government kind of person, well then I encourage you to go read this case, because this issue was decided in 1819 and there's no looking back. Basically, the issue before the court was whether or not the United States, under the Constitution, had the power to establish a bank, which it had done. And number two, whether or not the state of Maryland had the power to tax this bank, which it was doing. Writing for the court was the Chief Justice, John Marshall. And John Marshall's a Federalist, and you heard about him in Marbury versus Madison. And basically, he said that even though establishing a bank isn't one of the enumerated powers, Congress has the right to do it. And the reason they have the right to do it is because under the Necessary and Proper Clause, the framers of the Constitution understood that there's things that are going to need to be done in order to fulfill the objectives laid out in the enumerated powers. And he said that's where he discovered the implied powers of Congress. And under the implied powers of Congress, they can establish a bank to fulfill the objectives. And he said, look, this is also fulfilling the intent of the people, because in his mind, the Constitution was ratified by the people, and therefore, far be it from him to step in the way of what the people wanted. And number two, Maryland doesn't have the power to tax, because as he wrote, the power to tax is the power to destroy. And so we can't give Maryland the power to destroy this bank, because that would thwart the intent of Congress, that would thwart the intent of the Constitution, which said it would be the supreme law of the land.